we all know flying can be kind of stressful, right? Getting to the airport, waking up really early for a flight, checking in, going through security is always stressful because even though you're not doing anything illegal, sometimes you'll be like, oh my God, what if I left a liquid that isn't meant to be in my bag, It can all add up. Maybe you have a slight fear of flying, and until you're on that plane and in the air, you're like, okay, now we're good. Now I can kind of relax a little bit. My biggest fear going through an airport is that my luggage won't turn up on the other side, or that I'm going to wet myself because I can't use the bathroom as the plane is taking off. And other people are going to like misbehave on the plane. I mean, like, getting your feet out, being rude to staff, trying to take a knife on them, you know, all these kind of things. Drunk people are the worst on flights. Because once you're on that plane, it's not just a them and the staff problem, it becomes everyone else's issue, right? So talking about issues, this is Jolene. Let's play a little bit of a game in this video we're about to watch. Try and take a guess at what she has done wrong.
Never flying Ryanair ever again.
I've calmed down a bit. I feel like I can gather my thoughts a little bit more properly, but that was the least professional experience I've ever experienced. You watch my videos or just know me, know that I show up like the happiest and kindest human being to everybody always. The fact that I was treated like this is really, really like horrifying.
Can I say something? Sorry, this is nothing to do with the video, but this you don't have to hold your microphone here. That is quite literally made to catch your voice. Like the lavalier mics, that clip here, you don't have to hold them. It will pick you up.
Honestly, and plain discrimination. Nobody here gave a fuck. It's really sad, but it's my disclaimer.
Discrimination? I wonder what they're discriminating.
You guys, I literally get to the airport, I'm like running late, checking the bag is closed, so I'm like, whatever. Just go through security, I run through it for takeoff. I run to the gate, and as soon as I get up to the gate, this fucking lady, Isabella something, like fuck her. She fucking sees me, I'm like recording myself, I'm like, oh my God, guys, I made it to the flight, thank God.
Sorry, so she's running late, and she is recording herself running late.
Like, I thought I was gonna miss the flight. Like, immediately sees me, is having a shit ass day. She's like, you have to delete that video. I'm like, I was just videoing myself. What do you mean? And she's like, no, you have to delete it right now or else I'm calling the police. And I was like, okay. So I deleted it, and she's like, you have to delete it out of the recently deleted and you need to show me. I'm like, oh my God. Then the guy proceeds to tell me that I have to pay another $75, even though I already paid to check this in. Pay another $75 for them to check it in at the gate. I'm like, whatever. And she's giving me the most fucking attitude, like, and I didn't do anything. I walked up to the gate, I'm smiling, I'm like, thank God I didn't miss my flight. Like, that's it. She's immediately being a bitch to me. I'm sorry you're fucking miserable. I would be too if I were you and had that sort of attitude on life. Then they make me pay the $75. Whatever, I fucking pay it. I'm literally about to go through. I'm like, you know, you're a bitch and it costs $0 to be nice to someone. And she goes, that's it. You're not getting on the flight.
Yeah, good.
They're not.
Listen, Ryanair, you're in the UK. Don't fuck about. If you are rude to staff in the UK, they're gonna say something to you.
They're not letting me get on my flight now. And after they made me pay a $75 extra bag charge, my bag isn't even on the plane. And I already paid for a bag when I was doing my check-in, so I wouldn't have to pay the $75 at the gate. I understand it's my fault. I was late. I was gonna pay the $75. It's fine.
That's not the issue. That's not the issue.
Fuck Ryanair. Literally never flying with them ever again. Rudest fucking people ever.
And they won't give me a refund. They won't do anything.
Yeah, because you called someone a bitch and expected that to be absolutely fine. Are you fucking crazy? Come on, you're in your 30s.
Refund me for the $75. They just made me pay on top 2 seconds before they refused me getting on the plane. It's crazy. Genuinely crazy.
It's not genuinely crazy. You called somebody a bitch. Don't care who they are. Don't care who they're working for. I don't care if it's your mailman. I don't care if it's a trash person. I don't care who it is. You called someone a bitch. And they said, if that's rude, you're not getting on a flight. Yeah, good. Learn to behave. First of all, don't run up to a thing filming yourself. That's not interesting content. Straight up, give a fuck if you're late for your flight. Even if people are still boarding, you're still running late, right? You could have said something to this person. Listen, don't get me wrong. I'm not against you saying that someone has been rude. You could have said something along the lines of, I will remember your name, so when I get to the other side, I will be making a complaint. I hope you cheer up throughout the day. Done. Instead of resorting to, you're a bitch. You know? Come on, learn how to behave as adults. Imagine being in tears, crying so much because you were kicked off a flight because you were incredibly rude to someone to a point where you insulted them. How is it discrimination? How is it discrimination? I'm trying to think how it's discrimination to her. And I mean, she said about deleting the video. If somebody at an airport who works in an airport tells me to do something, I will do it. I assume it's for security reasons. I assume it's for the benefit of everyone. Saying to somebody who works in an airport, oh yeah, but I'm just filming myself. No, delete. If they're asking you to delete something, delete it. There are certain things you cannot record or film. Straight up, right? We don't all know the rules, so just do it. Again, it's not that interesting. You running late for a plane is not that interesting. It's not much of a loss. You know what I mean? There's places to get away with your fuckery, and the airport isn't one of them. You turned up late with too much baggage because you couldn't check your other bag because you were late. You're shoving a camera in people's faces. And do we really think the staff members were being that awful, that rude? Listen, I fly a lot. And yes, you kind of encounter staff members that are maybe a little bit more plain-faced, especially on the English side of a flight. They're a little bit more plain-faced, a little bit more something. I get it. It's exhausting being super friendly all the time. But listen, again, airports work to strict times. They're trying to get shit done. They're trying to make sure you're on time. They're trying to make sure everyone else is on time. They're trying to make sure you're safe and secure. Come on now. We all need to work together on this situation to make things work like clockwork. I do think what she did was wrong. Calling someone a bitch is just crazy, especially before you're going to get on a flight. Even if you think it, I wouldn't even risk it, right? Because they will take you off a flight. How do they know you're not intoxicated? You're running, filming yourself. You're openly calling people a bitch. You might have had a little bit too much to drink. How are you going to act on the flight if you're calling this person a bitch here? I think anybody that is that rude for no reason should be denied boarding. Give a fuck. Don't care. I don't want that person on my flight. Your parents never taught you that you shouldn't call people bitches for doing their job. Then let another adult teach you when you are an adult. Naturally, Jolene has been dragged for her life on basically every platform over this. So this is from a user called Big Bleach, and it's a response to a comment that says, the notion of calling a European, probably Irish, flight attendant a bitch is crazy work. Yeah.
Listen, I travel a lot, and I've had my fair share of weird or one-off or odd, or as she might call it, discriminatory experiences. Yeah. At every step of the way in the airport, whether it's security or the gate or border patrol. But I've never once thought, you know what? I am going to curse this person out for something.
Can I just say, going through an airport as a man with a tan and a beard, you can imagine isn't the easiest sometimes. Especially when I've just come back from another country and I've got a great tan. I'm always asked to take my shoes off. I'm always randomly searched. I'm not there kicking off. I'm just like, get on with it. I want to go, you want to go. That's a little bit more discrimination than you calling someone a bitch and being told to get off a flight.
That is 99% of the time my fault. Because, like, there's no good that can possibly come from calling someone who works at the airport or who works for an airline a motherfucker. Like, that's not going to get me anywhere good. It's not going to get me a nicer seat or anything like that.
Right.
For example, I was traveling back to the UK and I went to use the automatic passport control thingy and it wasn't working. So I went up to the desk at the all other passport section and was like, hey, here's my sitch. I don't really know why this is happening. I'm a bit confused. And they're like, okay, so it looks like you have an uncanceled residence permit that's about to expire and we don't want you overstaying that. And I was like, oh, okay. I mean, like, I cut up that residence permit and sent it into the UKVI office that they told me to a while back. And, you know, I've since then moved back to Poland and I'm only here to visit my friends for 2 weeks. And, you know, I showed them the cut up residence permit with the date included and, you know, my lease agreement, what I did for work, my university acceptance letter, and, you know, my return flight home. And they were like, okay, well, just wait over here. We're going to do some deeper research on this. So 25 minutes later, one thing led to another. They came back and were like, okay, yeah, so UKVI actually just never bothered to do anything with the residence permit you sent in, so we sent in a cancellation request. You shouldn't have this issue going forward. Very, very sorry for the inconvenience. And I was like, oh my god, it's no problem at all. Like, don't fret. Trust. I'd rather this happen now than later down the line when the experience could have been a whole lot different, and who knows what would have happened. But thank you for sending in the cancellation request, and thank you again for being so understanding. I hope you have a good rest of the day, and just went on with my day. Never once.
That's how you interact with people, you know? Security people especially, or people in any kind of work that involves security, including like border force, they can't come at you all friendly. They have to be a little bit stern, a little bit something like, you know, just in case.
Thought during that entire chain of events, you know what? I think I should call every single person I interact with a fat ass fucking bitch because things didn't go the way I wanted them to immediately. Right. Like, what would that have gotten me? A ban from the UK? A declared persona non grata? Yeah. It's not it's not worth it to release any anger that I was feeling at the time. And it's like, what happened to decorum? What happened to humility? What happened to interacting with people in public in a nice and proper way?
Doesn't exist. Does not exist anymore. I still can't get over it. I still can't get over the fact that she called this woman a bitch, and it's just like, why am I being kicked off and crying? You are a bitch and you called someone a bitch. If I worked in an airport, I would think something was really wrong with her. I'd be like, she's not good getting on this flight. She's calling me that. What's she gonna do to everyone else if a minor thing goes wrong? If all it takes is $75 to snap and turn all crazy, then you should not be on a plane. That's a good chunk of money, but complain later down the line, you know, get your money back. I do wonder if anyone, I was about to say, I wonder if anybody who works for like airport people have commented. They said, RYR employee here. Is that Ryanair? No hate towards your video, but the majority of people making content out of this situation have missed a very important point. The gate staff is not employed by the airline. They are employed by the airport, EXCL, UK and Ireland. Everywhere else, the gate agents are employed by the airport. Therefore, she can't blame the airline as it's the airport staff who decided not to board her. Good to know. I didn't know that. So Ryanair isn't known for being the best airline. This person says Ryanair is completely arse, but it's our ass. Ryanair don't overcharge you for anything, by the way. No hidden costs. Just read the rule. I never paid more than my plane ticket with Ryanair because I know how to read luggage size and check instructions. This person says, don't forget, she's the nicest, kindest person ever to everyone. Sure she is. I saw this and was gagged. Why were there comments on her side and asking for the attendant to be fired? Airport staff can deny you boarding for whatever. And this person says, I can't believe you made the whole of Europe side with Ryanair. Yeah, it's true. This person says, I'm not sure the most positive and happy person would say that to a stranger. And yeah, bring up this point. How was this discrimination? How were you discriminated against? Okay, so I just did a little check on her page, just to see if there's any kind of like update on this. She's that kind of person who does something really wrong and everyone knows it's wrong. The whole world seems to see it's wrong, except from her. And there is a little bit of a backstory to her, which she doesn't seem like the best person in terms of using her brain. And she's one of those people like, everyone's a hater. I'm just living my life. It's like, you need to, how do I say this nicely? The way you think is incorrect. That's all I'm gonna say to her. You were kicked off that flight for a reason, a good reason. You were wrong, deal with it. It's okay to admit you're wrong sometimes instead of calling everyone haters. You know what I mean? All right, thank you so much for joining me. Let me know your opinions down below. Do you think it's right that she was kicked off her flight just for calling someone a bitch? She's usually really nice. Let me know your opinions down below in the comments. Subscribe if you have not already. I will see you in the next one. Bye.